It was supposed to be just another ordinary shift at the Silver Spoon Diner, a small, bustling place tucked on the corner of a busy street. The kind of diner where the coffee is strong, the regulars never change, and the staff move like clockwork, efficient, unnoticed, and overworked. Emily had been working there for almost 2 years. She was fast on her feet, always smiling, and the kind of waitress who remembered your order and asked about your day, even when hers wasn't going great. But Emily's life was about to change because of one simple act of kindness. A decision that cost her job, but also gave her something she never expected. Before we get into this unbelievable story, make sure to subscribe to the channel. We share powerful stories like this one that will inspire, surprise, and sometimes even shock you. Hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications so you never miss an incredible story. Now, back to Emily. It was a slow, gray Tuesday afternoon. The sky outside was overcast, casting a dull light over the diner's neon signs and checkered floors. The lunch rush had died down, leaving only the faint clinking of dishes and the low hum of conversation. That's when he walked in. A man, dressed in an expensive suit that didn't match the place, or the people. His tie was loosened, and his polished shoes were splattered with mud, as if he'd been walking through streets he wasn't used to. His face held something more than just exhaustion. It was like he carried the weight of 1,000 silent thoughts. He didn't take a booth or glance at the menu. He simply sat alone at the counter, eyes distant, staring into nothing. Emily noticed him immediately. Not because he was important, but because he looked like he wasn't. Just another tired stranger lost in his own world. She grabbed a coffee pot and walked over, her friendly smile effortless. "Rough day?" she asked casually, pouring him a cup before he could even order. The man glanced up, startled at first, then gave a small, tired smile. "You could say that." Emily didn't press for details. She just nodded, refilled the sugar caddy, and added softly, "This one's on me." Sometimes, coffee tastes better when it's free. It was a simple gesture. A small act of kindness, nothing more. But that's where everything began. What Emily didn't notice was her manager, Carl, watching from across the room. Carl was the kind of boss who believed that rules mattered more than people. No free coffee. No unnecessary conversation. No exceptions. He marched over the moment Emily walked away from the man. "Emily," he snapped, his voice sharp even in a whisper. "We don't give out freebies. You think this is a charity? Every cup costs money. You're not here to make friends, you're here to work." Emily's smile faded. It was just a cup of coffee. He looked like he needed it. It's not going to bankrupt the diner. But Carl didn't care. Rules were rules. And according to him, Emily had broken one. Right there, in the middle of her shift, in front of her co-workers and customers, Carl fired her. No warnings. No second chances. Just like that. Emily left the diner that day with tears in her eyes, not because she'd lost her job, but because she realized how little kindness seemed to matter in a place that felt like home for so long. But the story doesn't end there. The very next morning, Emily got a call from an unknown number. She almost didn't answer, thinking it was just another rejection or spam call. But curiosity won. "Hello, is this Emily?" a professional voice asked. Yes, she replied cautiously. This is Andrew Bennett, Regional Director for Silver Spoon Enterprises. I'd like to meet you at the diner today. Are you available? Confused and a little nervous, Emily agreed. She didn't know it yet, but her life was about to change forever. When she arrived at the diner, it was unusually quiet. Carl was there, looking as smug as ever, standing behind the counter like nothing had happened. But then Andrew walked in, the same man from the day before. Only now, he wasn't just a tired stranger. He was dressed sharply, standing tall, flanked by two executives with tablets in hand. The entire diner fell silent. Andrew approached Emily directly, his voice loud enough for everyone to hear. Emily, thank you for meeting with me. Then he turned to Carl. Carl, I'm here for an unscheduled performance review. Yesterday, I visited this location undercover to observe how staff interact with customers. Carl's face turned pale. Andrew continued, what I witnessed was disappointing, not because of Emily's behavior, but because of yours. Emily showed compassion, professionalism, and leadership. You showed none. Then, the bombshell. Effective immediately, Emily is promoted to manager of this location. And Carl, you're terminated for poor leadership and failure to uphold company values. The diner erupted into whispers. Carl stammered, trying to defend himself, but it was useless. Andrew had seen everything he needed to see. Later, when things calmed down, Emily asked Andrew why he'd gone through all this trouble. His answer was simple. Leadership isn't about following rules blindly. It's about knowing when to put people first. Yesterday, you showed me something that can't be taught in training. You showed heart. Emily's life changed overnight. From being fired over a cup of coffee to managing the very diner where she'd once been treated as disposable. All because she chose kindness over indifference. And here's the takeaway, sometimes, the smallest acts of kindness ripple further than we can imagine. You never know who's watching. You never know how one moment of compassion can change your life, or someone else's. If this story inspired you, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share your thoughts in the comments. Have you ever experienced a moment where doing the right thing paid off in an unexpected way? We'd love to hear your story. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.